What's going on, beautiful people? Russell Climbs here, and today we're going to be talking about fire safety because fire's freaking dangerous. So let's go. Before we begin, I just want to say that I am not liable for anything that happens to you guys when you're doing fire painting, and these are just my personal guidelines and what I would recommend that you're doing. Okay, now that that's out of the way. Secondly, first off, is that before you do any kind of fire painting, just make sure it's even legal in your area. If it's not, you can get in a lot of trouble, and just think twice before you do something like that. Guideline number one, be in an area that's unlikely to catch fire. So that means don't have any shrubbery around or any dead plants or anything like that. I recommend either like in water, like in a creek, or maybe like potentially on a beach or in a concrete industrial area where nothing's gonna catch fire. That's probably a good place to be. Number two, pay attention to the wind. If the wind is even more than a slight breeze, I will not do any fire painting. If there is a slight breeze, I wanna make sure that breeze is coming towards me and my model and not from our back, because then the embers will go forward towards the model and I don't want that. So make sure that the wind, just pay attention to where the wind is, be aware. Number three, when you put your lighter fluid on your fire stick, make sure that you do it in an area that is designated and away from where you're doing the fire painting. Yeah, because you don't want a surprise fire attack. That would not be fun. So just do it somewhere else and leave the lighter fluid over there and just be safe. Number four, have a fire extinguisher. I got this bad boy at Home Depot for $40. And I recommend the bigger ones for a few reasons. One, you have more bang for your buck if the fire gets crazy, okay? Two, it's rechargeable, and that way if you do use it, you can use it again. You don't have to buy one of the smaller ones. The smaller ones are around 20 bucks, but they're bad for the environment because you can't recharge them, so I recommend that. Also, make sure when you buy a fire extinguisher that is an A, B, C fire extinguisher. It's just good for a lot of different uses, and so regardless of kind of the fuel you might be using, it should be able to put it out. And if you don't know how to use a fire extinguisher, that's okay. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube that will teach you how. It's not as obvious as you might think. Number five, have a spotter looking for fire just everywhere. Whether it's on the plant, if there's plants nearby, anything like that, or if it's on your model, like have them hold that fire extinguisher that we were just talking about, and then make sure that like they call out if they see somebody catching fire. So you stop whatever you're doing and have them come over and put your model or whoever out, okay? That's super important. Number six, be at least 3 feet away from your model. That is my personal recommendation. I feel like that is safe enough. I mean, it's fire we're talking about, but as you can see in this video, I'm pretty far away, at least 3 feet from my model, so just be wary of where that is. Number seven, have a way to put the fire stick out. Most of the time, fire sticks, if you're using them, are not going to be good for the entire time like that they're on fire, so make sure you have a way to put it out. So water is great, a snuffer like this bad boy is great. I made it out of PVC, and you can just get that at Home Depot, and you got a little thing right here. Just pop the fire stick in there. There might be some embers that pop out, so be aware, and then cover it and it suffocates it. If you don't have any of those, then just put it in a place where there's not any plants or anything around, and it will go out naturally. But I like to just put it out so that I can forget about it. Number eight, tell the people who are going to be with you, who are going to be doing the fire painting, your spotter and your model and anybody else who's going to be there, how exactly everything is going to go. You want them to be comfortable, that you know what you're doing, okay? Don't let them misplace their trust. Number nine, if you like, and I recommend, have your model and whoever is participating, if they're going to be doing anything with fire, sign a fire liability contract, so that way you can't get sued if something goes wrong. You've already put out everything, hey, this is how you're going to do it, but it's just in case to protect yourself. And if they don't like it, then you're not going to do fire painting. It's that simple. All right, number 10, it's recommended that the model wears some kind of cotton clothing or something that's not easily flammable. So I have used like polyester clothing in the past. The problem with polyester is that it melts. It doesn't necessarily burn, and you don't want the polyester to melt onto your model. That would be bad news bears, okay? And so cotton is pretty non-flammable by itself unless you put some kind of lighter fluid on it. So just be aware, and on top of that, if your model has some kind of product in their hair or something like that, you might not want to do fire painting because that product in their hair could catch fire very easily. Number 11, pay attention to the fire and embers at all times. So For example, once that stick is lit, if you're going to be doing stuff with fire sticks, then I recommend having a Yang trigger like this. What's great is like it's a dead man switch. So once I hold it down, it starts the exposure. As soon as I let go, it ends the exposure. You shouldn't be trying to fiddling with your triggers while that stick is lit. I had a friend who was teaching someone and the stick slowly went closer to the model because they were fiddling with the trigger because they didn't know what was happening. So that was really dangerous, so I don't recommend doing that. So just pay attention to the embers and everything should be okay in the fire. That too. Fire is more important than embers, but pay attention to both. Both important. Number 12, okay, last number of the stuff is freaking practice before you do it with the model. So you know how fire works, because let's just say I didn't know how fire worked. Nothing bad happened, but I almost caught myself on fire because I didn't do it before. I should have tested and I didn't. So don't do what I did. It's not good. Okay? Lastly, bonus tip. Fire travels upward, so if you have the fire stick and you're pointed down, it will come to get you. So be aware of that. I had to learn that the hard way. And so yeah, don't do that, okay? Cool. Love it. You're great. Oh, and I just want to say a huge shout out to my friends who helped me put together this fire safety list. There were some things that I missed, so I'm super grateful I asked them. Make sure to check them out. I'll throw up their Instagrams on this video, and I just wanted to give a huge shout out to them because it's really important because they all do fire stuff and they all do great work. And that's it. Those are my 12 fire tips of safety. The fire tips of safety. That was unintentional, but I dig it. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and if you would subscribe, that'd be great, but I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I will suggest on how to do fire safety. And hit the notification bell if you want to be notified for more stuff and videos like this. And I'll see your beautiful faces in the next video. Peace out.